Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our shloka recitation class, which is a part of Srimad Bhagavatam study. And so far in previous 11 classes, we have been trying to recite the verses, we have been trying to memorize the verses, understanding various techniques, understanding various reasons why we should remember the verses. So I would expect that now the participants, the devotees, would have a little flavor of what is memorization of verses, memorization of shloka mean. We will now enter into a little different learning from today onwards. Probably we'll take few classes on this topic. And this is regarding rules of Sanskrit meters. Sanskrit meters in simple language are known as Chand, and rules of Sanskrit meters in technical language is known as Chand Vidhan. Hmm. But this is something like a grammar class on what are the rules regarding if you want to write a chand, if you want to recognize or identify a chand, what are the rules involved in it? Typically, these type of class is not taught in regular ISKCON discourse, as it is more of a I would say not a devotional class, but more or less it is a grammar class. But I would still consider it as a devotional class because our purpose ultimately is devotional. Our purpose is mainly to enrich our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, be it understanding Srimad Bhagavatam or be it reading and recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So when it comes to recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, if you know the rules of Sanskrit meters, you will be able to identify the various meters, various chandas, and that is going to help you in the long run. So little time spent on identifying the chandas, identifying the meters technically uh, is going to help us in the long run. We will start with some prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavatya Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. So we will spend some time on understanding what is Chanda. A little introduction about Chanda, that is Sanskrit meters. So the first point is anything or text that can be sung is known as Chanda. So for example, you would have just recited Shardul Vikridit Chand, which was Srimad Bhagavatam very first verse. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयाद् चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट्, like this. So we can sing these these texts. So in literature there are two types of text. One is prose and another one is poetry. So prose is like written in paragraphs and long books are written, but poetry is little more uh, uh, more, I would say, ornamental. It is more decorative, it is more beautiful. So chand is something, uh, text that can be sung. In Hindi we also call it padya. One is gadya and another one is padya. Gadya means prose, padya means poetry. So this is poetry. Chand is related to poetry. And when we talk about chand, there are set rules for writing a chand. And there are different types of chand, as you probably already know by now. And what are these rules about? These rules are about matra, these rules are about varna, these rules about yati and gati. So what is matra? Matra means when you pronounce a syllable, it takes some time. Matra means quantity. So it takes some time, which means duration of time. For example, if I pronounce a syllable k and then I pronounce a syllable ka. So ka takes less time and ka takes more time. So in a chanda, there are various syllables. One is with a short sound, some syllables are with short sound, and some syllables are with long sound. So there are rules about matra, duration of time a syllable is taking to pronounce it. Then there are syllables, there are number of syllables. Like in Shardul Vikriti Chand, we understood that there are 19 syllables in each section of the verse. So syllables means varna. Then we stop at different points in a chand. When we are reciting a chand, we stop. Janma Tanvitaratash Chartheshwa Bhigya Swarat. So itaratash. So there is a pause. So that is yati. Then there is gati. Gati means the melody, the kind of melody we use to recite a chand. Like we have Anushtup Chand has a separate melody. Then we have Trishtup Chand having a separate melody. Shardul Vikridit having a separate melody like this. So Sanskrit Chand, we know some names, Anushtup, Shardul Vikridit, Trishtup, etc. But more commonly, people generally know, for example, Chaupai. Like Tulsi Das ji's Ramcharit Manas is written in Chaupai. There are Chaupai. And Kabir Das ji's Doha are very famous. So Chaupai is very famous and Doha is also very famous. So both of them are Chand because there are set rules for writing a Chaupai and there are set rules for writing a Doha. Then to identify a type of Chand, we need to know the rules of Matra. Hmm. Uh, to because in the previous classes we have asked you that we should know how to identify a meter, how to identify a Chand. So we gave you some ideas that there are 19 syllables in Shardul Vikridit. There are 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, like 32 syllables in you can say Anushtup Chand, like that. But in order to identify some of these chandas can be known or understood by the number of syllables, but sometimes some chandas have the same number of syllables. For example, 17 syllables. There are several chandas which are having 17 syllables, 17 varnas. So which one is which? 17 syllables. This one also has 17, that one also has 17. Now how to distinguish between them? So in order to distinguish between the various type of chandas probably having same syllables, we need to know the rules associated with the matra. Hmm. Matra means time taken to pronounce a syllable. I mentioned to you, ka is short sound, ka is long sound. So long sound takes double time and short sound takes half the time. So one for short sound there is one matra. For a long sound there is two matras, 2 units. So matras are of two types, as I mentioned, short and long. So duration of time spent in pronouncing a chanda is known as matra. Short matra, also known as, like you would remember from your school days, early school days, like we have choti e ki matra, chota a, chota u. So sometimes we call this matra as choti. Choti means the duration for pronouncing this syllable will be short. And then we have long matra. Long matra means badi e ki matra, bada u, a, I, o, au, like that. So sometimes choti and badi is also for short matra it is known as choti matra, long matra it is known as badi matra. But more technical names are, for short matra we call them hrisva. In Hindi we write it like this, and we also call them laghu. Similarly, for long matra we also call it dirgha and guru. Dirgha means long and guru means actually long. So choti matra, hrisva and laghu or short matra is counted as 1 unit. Now 1 unit duration of time. Then long matra is counted as 2 unit duration of time. And the example of short matra is a, I, u, ri. A, I, u, ri. Then long matra, the example is a, I, u, a, I, o, au. Now you can feel the way I am pronouncing these syllables. the short matra is taking smaller amount of time and long matra is taking a long amount of time, larger amount of time. So this is a little bit about the introduction to Chanda. Now we move to some rules around Chanda. The rules about Chanda are, there are 6 major rules. I have identified 6 major rules for you to remember. For example, uh, as I mentioned, a, e, u, ri. These are known as laghu. Laghu means short sounds. Now, when we add to these short sounds, these are actually vowels, or in Hindi we call them swar. In these vowels or swar, when we add consonants, in Hindi we call consonants as vyanjan. So when we add vyanjan to them, they become laghu sound. Like for example, ka, kha, ya, la, va. So this has become, uh, all these are having laghu. Laghu is represented by one single line, straight line. So then we have a, e, u, a, I, o, au. These are guru. Guru means long sounds. Example is ka, kha, ya, la, va. So these are all guru sounds. Guru. As you can see, if you are reading a shloka and there is written kamal, kamal, in the shloka there is a word called kamal. So ka, ma, la. So all three ka, ma, and la are short sounds like laghu. That is what it is. Or it is kamala. For example, if it is another word called kamala, then kamala. That will be guru sound, long sound. So these two are easy rules as already discussed in the previous slide. Now come to the third rule. Third rule is about compound syllables. In Hindi, we call them Sanyuktakshar. Sanyukt means more than one. Compound means more than one. And some examples of Sanyuktakshar or compound syllables is like this. Vya. So here va is half sound and ya actually is together vya actually means a compound syllable. Then mya. Like for example, if we have ramya or kavya, ramya kavya. So here vya is a compound syllable, mya is a compound syllable. Similarly, there are standard compound syllables like trayate, tra. Then kya, then gya, then shra, and like you would also see syllables like ma with a ra sound over it, and then pa with a ra sound underneath it, gra and kra. Like in Krishna, we have this kra. So any compound syllable you see, it is a laghu sound. It is a short sound. As I mentioned, short sound is represented by a straight line, and a long sound is represented by a curvy line. Curvy line like this. Syllable before a compound syllable. If there is a compound syllable and before that, if there is any other syllable is coming, that will be counted as guru. That will be counted as a long sound. For example, we have this word called bhakta. So here half ka and full ta. This is a compound syllable. So compound syllable itself is a laghu sound. So I have represented it as a straight line. But bha, before ta, before this compound syllable, this another syllable comes bha. That is a guru sound. So like this, there is a curvy line and then there is I. So I will call them straight line as I and this is as S. Or I can also call this as guru and laghu. So green S that you see is guru and red I that you see is laghu. So there is one guru syllable and there is one laghu syllable. Guru and laghu. So guru is actually 2 units of matra and laghu is 1 unit of matra. So total number of matras in this bhakta is 2 plus 1, 3. Then our fifth rule is syllable with anuswar and visarga are guru. So if you see any syllable having a anuswar means this dot, like we call it anki bindi in local language. In simple Hindi we call it anki bindi. So wherever you see this bindi or there is dot, this is actually a guru sound, like vasant. So va is a laghu sound, ta is also a laghu sound, and san, san actually is a guru sound. So that is why laghu, guru, and laghu. Similarly, if there is a syllable with visarga means like we have these two dots, then it will be a guru sound. For example, pratah. Now pra because it has a long a like this one, so pra actually becomes a guru sound, and tah actually also becomes a guru sound. So there are two guru sounds. So 2 plus 2, 4 matras. Here also 1 plus 2 plus 1, 4 matras. So like this is the fifth rule. Then syllable before halanta is guru, and the syllable which has the halanta is not counted. Any matra is not counted with the syllable having halanta. For example, there is a word called shriman. Halant actually means like if I have ka and I put halant underneath ka, actually it is a different way of saying adha ka, half ka. So similarly, uh, when the syllable comes in the end of the word, then you can't write the half letter. So you need to write the full letter and put a halant underneath it. So example is Shriman. Shriman, you will see here, Shri is a long sound because there is a long E here. Ma is also, although independently ma is a short sound, but since it is coming before halanta, because na is there and it has halanta, it is coming before a syllable having halanta, so ma will actually be counted as guru. Ma will be counted as guru, and the syllable which has the halanta like na will not be counted for any matra. So total number of matras in this syllable is, in this word is Shriman is 2 plus 2, guru and guru, 2 plus 2 equal to 4. So like this, these are the 6 rules, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These rules are meant to count the number of matras, whether it is laghu sound or whether it is a guru sound. Hmm. So we will do now some practice. We will now do some practice. First of all, we will do a little simple practice. Simple practice so that you get warmed up how to identify these matras. So simple practice. Now, who can tell me there are 3 syllables here: ka, ja, la. Now, how many matras can I count here? What should I count for ka? Can anyone from the devotees answer it?
Guru, Guru,
Guru. Okay. Ka is guru. And what about ja?
Laghu,
Laghu. What about la?
Laghu,
Laghu. So, how many total matras?
4,
4. 2 plus 1 plus 1. Like this.
yes,
S-I-I or Guru, Laghu, Laghu. Total 4 matras. Now we move to the next one. We have this word called Suresh. Hmm. So, who can tell me how many matras are there for Su? Which is this, Laghu or Guru? Su,
Laghu,
Laghu. Hmm. So this is Laghu. What about Re?
Guru,
Guru, Guru.
Re is Guru. Re is Guru. What about Sha?
Laghu,
Lagu.
Laghu. So this is Laghu, Guru, Laghu. Laghu, Guru, Laghu. Total 4 matras. Okay. Now we have another word, Meera. So how many matras are there? Who can tell?
4, 4,
What about me?
Guru,
Guru,
Guru.
Guru,
And what
Guru.
about Ra? What about Ra?
Guru,
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 Guru.
Guru and Guru. Total 4. Okay. Now we have a little longer word. Tulasi Das. What about Tu?
Laghu,
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 Guru,
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 Laghu,
Guru,
Lagu.
Laghu.
Laghu.
So Laghu, Laghu,
One,
Guru,
two,
Guru, Laghu.
four,
Huh? So Laghu,
6,
Laghu,
7.
Guru, Laghu. So total 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 4 plus 6 plus 1, 7. Total 7 matras. Okay. So today we have discussed what is Chanda, what are the rules about Chanda, how to count the matras. Today we have done some simple exercise on how to count these matras. Next class, we will do a little more advanced exercise where we will discuss more about the compound words, compound syllables, and syllables using anuswar, syllables using, I would say, visarg, and syllables using halant. So all those practice we will do in the next class. So we conclude our class today here. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Do you have any questions? Maybe we can take one or two. Any questions?
Nothing, Prabhu. Today is
Okay.
very simple.
Simple. Okay, good. So just remember the rules and try to practice a little bit just so that you get familiar with what are the different types of matras. This was simple exercise. Next class, we are going to have a little more complex exercise. So now I will conclude the class here. Stop the recording.